play dead and I stay dead. Baby, you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed. Think you're something out of my nightmares, standing right there. But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, then will you get bored of killing me?
Silhouettes of you are like a taunt. Never really know just what you want. With you I don't ever feel calm. I can feel the sweat inside my palms. Play with me like cats and a string. You don't understand the pain it brings. You don't ever wanna give me wings. You don't ever wanna set me free. You know I'm addicted to you, and it's twisted you've been gifted with the evil voodoo. Got me coming back for more even when I've been screwed. Dolls full of pins, pierce my heart straight through. I got issues in my head, I like you in my bed, but you keep me on red. Oh, everything is like a test. I better not text or I'll come off desperate.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, baby, you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed. Think you're something out of my nightmares, standing right there. But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, then will you get bored of killing me?
So if I play dead, will you regret everything that you did, that you said? I don't think you understand what you're doing, and my heart's black and blue from the bruising. I feel like when I'm with you I'm losing. I feel like you think that this amusing, sitting there gaslighting and confusing. Was it me? Is it me? Am I deluded? I'm the one who's always sorry, the conclusion, even though I offer all of the solutions. I wish you loved me like I love you, it's stupid. When I'm alone with you I never feel lucid. I wish I wasn't struck by Cupid. I wish when I first saw you I knew this. When I'm with you I feel so useless. I feel diluted, my heart's been wounded. Silhouettes of you are like a taunt. Never really know just what you want. With you I don't ever feel calm. I can feel the sweat inside my palms. Play with me like cats and a string. You don't understand the pain it brings. You don't ever wanna give me wings. You don't ever wanna set me free.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, baby, you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed. Think you're something out of my nightmares, standing right there. But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, then will you get bored of killing me? 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 But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, baby, you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed. Think you're something out of my nightmares, standing right there. But if
Hey y'all, let me know if you can hear me. Can you guys hear me? What the fuck? I'm not gonna do this today. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Because it's looking to me like you can't maybe hear me very well. I'm good. I think I'm good. This just isn't like lighting up like it usually does. Okay, good. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Hi, Thomas. Hi, Noelle. Hi, whoever else is here. Sorry, I got sidetracked trying to make sure everything was working okay. So, sorry about that. You guys know me and my technology. Um, anyways, how are you guys? I hope you guys are good. I am not gonna just regurgitate everything everyone's already talking about, but I have some things I think you guys will find interesting actually about what's been going on and the craziness. And I think Noelle said, yeah, Noelle, it's okay. Kind of sporadic these days. Um, I just kind of am all, I guess that's the best word, sporadic. But they've been good, and I just I have so much in my head, but today got crazy. Wanted to go live early, but I'm here now, so I'm glad you're here. And I've missed seeing you in my chat, so I hope you're well. If you've sent me any emails, I have not checked my email in a few days, maybe even a week. But I appreciate you, and always when you check on me and say hello or send me any info, I appreciate you. So, I have I'm gonna share a little bit of Pav's video that he did earlier today because it coincides with what I want to share first. Um, I just have a lot of thoughts about what's going on with Ray and this case, and however we all may be taking in all this information. Um, like my title says, I'm truly starting to believe this is all some kind of social experiment. And if it's not, it's the worst case in history. I think that anybody would be crazy to think that it's not at this point. And I'm not going to say too much yet. I'm trying to pick my words carefully because I don't want to tell you guys what I think and in turn make you guys think anything like I think. We all can think for ourselves, but I just am in shock. And I was in shock early this morning seeing Ray with Steve and Olivia and Brian Enton. And I just really am kind of flabbergasted at the fact that who's lying here? Someone's lying. Someone's playing games. Everyone seems to all of a sudden be on the same page as Ray. Hi, Holly Berry. Good to see you. You guys know me. Is Dan here? Sorry guys if I miss you. I'll check in a minute and see who said what, but you know me, I gotta focus. Or I won't focus at all. But I appreciate you guys being here. And again, love you guys. And oh, let me explain my cows, my 4th of July cows. I had saved this like at 4th of July because it made me think of like well, they are red heifers, but I think of Idaho and I think of red herring, and this just makes me think of Grangeville, Cottonwood, Idaho, where Reed Utmore's from, the Utmore family, who I am still positively sure that eventually I will get to how they're related. I wish I could show you guys. Again, I wish we could all study together, but I just know what I know, and I'm going to one day before I die and leave this pretty little earth we're living on. But yeah, read up more. This is what I think of, and you guys might see why. Because when cows, pigs, farmland, harvest season, I don't know. It's kind of actually sick, but And if read up more ever were to see this, you can't. I mean, I'm that confident that I'm pretty much confident that I'm at least halfway correct, and you'd have to prove me wrong. But now you guys, after seeing Steve G multiple times, doing his rounds as per usual, um, how come it's only Steve G? And I said yesterday, if y'all caught my video I put out, um, I do believe everything happening is strategic. Kind of like I said, I'm going to share part of Pov's video that goes along with the other part of this that I'm sharing tonight. But the Cyray thing is a little confusing to me. Strategic, yeah, but on his behalf, I don't know, because we'll talk about that at the end. I just think that there's game playing going on, and I really do feel this is too much. There's too many coincidences. There's too much that isn't making sense from day one. Bryan Kohberger, the PCA was not legit. Like they didn't have a right to arrest Bryan Kohberger. Yet Bryan Kohberger is sitting in a prison cell, I think, um, to be honest. And I'm not going to show you because everyone's already played it over and over as of right now, Cyray, and all the things said. But when he said that Ann Taylor has a sick, really, like a sick, don't quote me, but a sick, like, relationship, like a sick tie with Bryan Kohberger. And I got it. It's like a parental thing. How could you not? Like, if he's really innocent, sitting in a cell and she truly believes it, but like, how could you not? I would. And that's probably why I can't do anything in the legal field, because that would be me. I would be in the prison more than I would be out making my money because of all the people wrongfully incarcerated. So, um, I found that very weird. I found it very. Littles, you can come in. Dang, bust the door down. Come in. I find that just very odd, the things he chose to say. I don't know. This is the problem. How do you trust anyone in this case anymore? You want to come here? Come on. Come on. Little's got a haircut. Say hi, peoples. Okay, mommy's talking, okay? Gotta be good, girl. Sorry, guys. I don't know who to trust, and I find like this is all just too much game playing for me. I don't know what I think is gonna happen, except I think that Ann Taylor is and has played strategically since the plea deal. However, I don't know how this works out, like, truly in a court of law. Um, and that's why we're gonna talk about Pav in a bit in his video, because he said it's strategic as well. Cyray, though, with the G family, little weird. Seems like they're besties all of a sudden, and I think that it would be to one's detriment to piss off Steve G if Cyray was not. I mean, it's not that he might not have been being honest if Pav is right, and we'll go there, but I don't know, you guys. I'm kind of over it. Like, I think that this is so much game playing. How many coincidences, how many chaotic BS situations can one case have? The case is over, literally. It's over. Yet, here we are. And I'm happy if Bryan's innocent and this is all real. But how can we have two different stories coming from Cyray? And y'all know, or otherwise I would be playing them. But I was going to start the video. I'm going to go over parts of 1122 King Road Clue, because my issue with this is, how did 1122 King Road Clue know anything? And I'll look before I play it as to what I believe it was December of 2023 that this all came out. But no, honey, you can't have that. You can't drink this. Nope. Thirsty Thursday, she can't have my drink. We're drinking Snoop Dogg and somebody's gin and juice. But I couldn't have the can to show you guys. It's like mango, but she smells it. But I couldn't have my can because if you were here last time and I spilled my can of whatever I had all over the place that time. Will you be good, girl? The people said be good. Be good, littles. Um, so anyways, now she made me forget where I was at. I just think that how did 1122 King Road Clue know anything that happened? And that's why I find it very strange. And I think you guys will get where I'm going with what I share. I'm not obviously going to share the whole video. It's a bit, it's like 15 minutes, but we'll break it up. I was going to start it out with the game of Clue that they play in this, whatever you want to call it, the midnight production. But there's other things that matter. And it's kind of like the grub truck when I shared it last live. Like, how did these people know things prior to this event happening? Make that make sense, please. And how come we don't know who that is at this point? It's kind of wild. We don't know who Papa Rogers was. We don't know who Inside Looking was. We don't know who 1122 King Road Clue was. Why? We haven't even seen Enon Harsh interview. So where's the real stuff at? Like, half the interviews we've seen are just BS and they're waste of time interviews. Only a few have actually pertained to anything with any validity or purpose. Can't get Maisie and Hunter's interviews because that's private. Um, and I might offend people tonight, but I personally am really starting to think that I'm right, that this is seriously not anything more than weird rich people doing sick things and hiding and covering it up with the police involved. And I don't like that. Oh, and I have to say one more thing. And I was looking for the picture, but y'all know, most of you here know, I posted, and I posted again. I did a video, but I shared it again probably twice after the video. Bryan Kohberger, we all knew from Pennsylvania, like the documents or whoever they like subpoenaed to go to court in Pennsylvania, the boxing guy, but I had said Bryan's a boxer long ago. Here's why I also don't trust what's going on. Bryan Kohberger, I told y'all, I put up his cute little picture of him in his like boxing gloves and no shirt, like little boxer he is. He's, you know, looked like a cute, like not making fun of him, but it is kind of cute and kind of funny in the same regard. It's like you go and take, it's like your baseball picture or your football picture, but Bryan had his like younger days boxing picture and he's a boxer. But I'm still questioning why grandma, Michael Francis Kohberger Jr.'s, his father, his mother, who rests her soul in Vegas, how come she called Bryan Kohberger Uncle Willie labeled under that picture? I got it from her like genealogy thing and it's gone now, but I showed you guys twice at least, maybe 3 times I think. Why would she call him Uncle Willie? Why is Bryan? Bryan doesn't equal Willie. William, no. There's a few, there's William is dad's his dad's grandfather, I believe. Anyways, I'm just curious because the name William, Edward, and Thomas. Thomas? Yeah, Thomas Edward Kohberger. William, Edward, and then Edward, William. I'm telling you that's where the Upmore thing comes in play. But I can't match it because, oh, that's what I was going to show you. Everything's private. Like if you go to some of these, like the Upmores, ever since I yapped my trap a while ago, every single name is like private on a whole list of a whole family tree. That's odd to me. And it wasn't that way before, but whatever. So anyways, just letting you know kind of where we're going with this. I will say also kind of trigger warning because the beginning of this 1122 video is kind of, I mean, if you get it, it's really like disgusting. But keep in mind, this person made this video pertain to Idaho and allegedly what occurred, and that's a little weird. But I'm gonna read your guys' messages right quick. Who's a snow cone? Well, okay. Right. You got, and I firmly agree that here's the deal. It's all legal. And I think that Olivia Gonsalves can get excited thinking that Bryan would just get denied. However, while she is kind of a smart little cookie, um, she's not understanding that based on what we know and what's actually occurred that we've witnessed, I know Judge Hippler can say no, and he likely will. That's good. I think that's the best. Ann Taylor is going to take one. She's not going to say, we're going to let Pav. I think that's part of what Pav is saying. It's part of the game that's being played, though. When Bryan took the plea deal, there was a strategic plan. And I wasn't going to list it out, but Pav surely did. I don't know if that's like good or not good, though, so I didn't do it because I don't know what the G family is going to be up to after knowing that maybe Cyree, whether Cyree's on their side truly or not, he is. They just aren't understanding what has actually happened. But I'm going to stop talking and we're just going to get started and let me just see you guys what you're saying and I'll try and answer anything. Bryan Kohberger could have been arrested strictly on the grand jury indictment. But they arrested him prior to the grand jury indictment. That was after. They arrested him before he was, I mean, that was in May of 2023. So he was arrested in, December 30th, 2022. So he was illegally arrested because it wasn't his DNA. Even Cyree said that. Like I've been trying to tell people. They took his daddy's DNA. They never had, ever, Bryan's DNA until they arrested him and took his buccal swab. They really screwed up, and I think Cyree's playing a dangerous game, though, with what he's doing, and I hope it's for the greater good. What I will say, though, is I firmly still believe Bryan's a Fed, not for the FBI, but I believe that's why this is happening. And this is the only reason that it will be allowed to continue is because certain people know actually what went down. And I believe if Bryan's phone was at that house, as I've always said, it was because he was surveilling somebody at that house. And oh, before I forget, let me show you guys this since we're going to talk about maybe the whatever could have been happening at 1122. I don't think I showed you guys this guy before. I think I wanted to last time or the time before. Did I show you guys this guy? Tell me who this is, because maybe I said it, but whatever we're saying congrats for, congrats. Sorry, my computer's now doing what I didn't want it to do. Lana said and I do, the cops are, the thing is, dude, the cops are being watched as well. So, oh my God, don't do this now. I'm not supposed to show you this dude, apparently. Oh, come on. Sorry, guys, it's taking for freaking ever. I'm going to go up and read in the event there is any truth to Cyree's narrative. Taylor would face. But Ann Taylor can also say certain things like Cyree did say she could say. And she could play the game. I told him I did this, I did that. And I firmly believe what he said was correct. And I believe that's what she's going to do. And honestly, if Ann Taylor is going to get disbarred, she just made a lot of money. With that case, I would guess she's tired and probably going to retire. So I doubt, I mean, who knows? I don't know. But I don't think she's getting disbarred. I mean, plenty of people do post-conviction relief against their attorney for ineffective assistance of counsel, and those attorneys don't get disbarred, like Cyree explained. Anne's not getting disbarred, and if Anne's a real person and who she seemed to be, I think maybe this is a big FU, but I think everyone in Idaho is in trouble. That's my biggest belief. And I guess that I can't show you this dude. I can show you this, but not. This is so weird. I'm not allowed to show you. If I showed you guys a guy who looked like Demetrius but wasn't, if you were here and saw it, let me know. Because I do think this guy's important, and he looks like Demetrius with... I might have shown you guys. Who's Uncle Will? Bill? Who's Uncle Will? Y'all. And what are we okay, let me see. What are we congratulating? Yeah, I think we're the circus monkeys. I think that we are literally, and I'm starting to believe I'm starting to not even trust anything I see about half the cases that are happening. Like Charlie Kirk. Why is it so similar yet so different? Why is it not? Why? Here's my big deal. How come nobody, Brian Enton, nobody? How come nobody's asking Christy and Steve because they ask about the foundation? How come nobody's asking them about testing the hair in Ethan's hand? Y'all are raising money to test things in labs, and you don't really want to know whose hair, whether it was whatever, nothing, maybe it's something. You guys aren't testing that. Shouldn't that be the first thing you're testing to see maybe who else could have maybe took your daughter's life? That's wild to me. How come it's all just money, money, money? I don't know. Shady to me. Hi, Kat. Hi, Moscow Snowing. Hey, I know you. You really live there. I've left you comments. Hi. How's Moscow doing? You want to tell us anything new? Or your actual thoughts? I'd love it. Kohberger is alleging that Taylor. He is alleging that. But he also, we don't know his premise of what he's actually saying in that. And he never said Ann Taylor. He said his counsel. He did not name one of them. He said counsel. I thought they just tested it against Kohberger. But I know Moscow Snowing. I've seen your channel and I found you like a while ago before he pled guilty. How's Moscow treating you now? Yeah, and see, the thing is, yeah, how do you trust anything if they lied from day one on the PCA? That's the credibility that Ann Taylor could have and would have used in court in a trial. You cannot say the police or the FBI did X, Y, and Z with no credibility. And yes, in Idaho, who knows what would occur because it's Idaho. In any normal trial, though, you never want the cops or anybody in law enforcement to be untrustworthy. But Thomas, we don't know. I mean, Brian's playing stupid. I think everyone's playing stupid, to be quite frank. And I think it's a strategy. I think that this is what Ann Taylor said was going to happen. And it's Idaho. I wouldn't want to work in Idaho. Disbar me if I work there. She's old enough to retire. And she's probably like, I want out of here. And I think that Brian didn't get where he got to be on his way to a doctorate by being stupid. And I wouldn't be saying all this because this was my belief the other day. I wouldn't say it if it already hadn't kind of been said because I didn't want to say it. because I do believe that this is some weird something, but at the end of the day, I think it's all gone too far. If we are some kind of, I literally am gonna start calling us, we're not pro burgers, we're BK Ultra burgers, I guess, because something is not right here. I think that if this is all for real, we should all be demanding change. Like, not just sitting here talking about it every day. This is a serious issue if this is all real. Because how is it possible one case can have so many F ups legitimately? It can't be true. And if it is, then we should all be scared. Very scared. So, I don't know. I'm going to start this little portion. I might skip through it if I think I'm showing too much that isn't necessary, but I think it leads to a point, and then it's going to end kind of after when you see like it starts to the get a clue, not get a clue, the game of clue. Pay attention for real at that point, because it's going to lead into what I'm going to, the clip of what Pav was saying earlier. And I saw it right before I heard what Pav said in his video today. And I was like, I'm so right, because you guys will just see. And this is why I think it's a game. And I don't think it's a funny game. And I surely don't think it's cool to manipulate people into whatever. Look at the documentaries, look at the books, look at all the things that have happened out of what would typically be normal. Before this, I personally, and I used to watch all the crime shows, right? I never used to see all this stuff like on these shows prior to someone going to trial. Maybe right before, but typically they're interviewing the person that's like going to trial. They didn't with Bryan. Maybe they tried, but none of what we've seen portrayed about this story, this case, whatever you want to call it, none of it's been portrayed correctly as those of us who know the case actually would claim it to be correct. The friends are weird and sus. The roommates, sus. The boyfriends, sus. The frat boys, sus. The sisterhood of whatever you want to call them, sus. The families, sus. Money grab, sus. It's very odd. Let's see. Moscow snowing. I was born and raised here. Moscow's a pretty chill place to live. City cops here are not good. Most of them are bottom of the barrel idiots who couldn't detective out of a week. So, what are your thoughts on what happened? Like, what do you think happened, if you don't mind sharing? I think it was your channel that I saw some random stuff with the cops and proving just how shady they are for no good reason at all. Very weird. But thank you for sharing. If you want to tell us anything else, it seems like it'd be chill, but also it seems like shady. And like, I would guess it's like sundown town. I wouldn't fit in very well there at all unless I played football, or unless I played football, because they like those players of my color. But let me know. Thomas says, with a newly appointed public defender, there's a good chance Bryan's motion will be amended. Yes, it will be amended. I would hope he gets a lawyer. I would never trust a public defender in Idaho. Like, what good is that going to do? His motion will be amended, though, hopefully. And hopefully he gets that opportunity. And then he'll get denied, and then he can move on up the ladder. You really think so? If you want to email me and, give me any extra details about your thoughts, please do so. My email is on my profile page. I'd love to chat. I would literally love it. I truly want to know. Do you think that Kopaka was involved? See, you guys, I don't know. This is what trips me out, is that so many people are saying the same thing, but have you guys read like the comment section on like News Nation or Brian Enton or Ashley Banfield? You do, okay. I'm interested. I'd love to chat with you sometime because this case has taken 4 years of my life and kind of made me a little bit cuckoo. But I just would love to know. It could be off the record or on the record, whatever you want, but I'd love to chat about it. I truly believe I believe I have to stick with my initial thing. I think he was working and I think none of them know it. Oh, thank you, Thomas. Appreciate you. Look at all you lucky little fellers. Just kidding. I love you guys. Um, I don't trust any of it anymore, you guys. But okay. I'm getting kind of weird about what I'm going to show just because it's a little much at the beginning. It's going to start with pigs, okay? Actually, Moscow snowing. Let me ask one question first. Okay. I don't know this for a fact, but I heard the SWAT guy who oh. Yeah, see, here's the deal. I definitely believe that law enforcement was involved. I also have reason to believe, and I don't know who was not off the top of my head involved with the Kopaka thing, but I do have reason to believe that last name, like Officer Snyder and Professor Snyder, are related to Brian distantly per se, and I know that Boobs on the Ground is gonna say, that's all I ever say, dangle carrots in front of your faces, but that's okay. No worries. Um, but yeah, I there's a I'm sure law enforcement's involved because that's the way you cover this up. I don't believe Brian was ever in the living room of that house, and if he was, it was either to buy something, and I'm not going to victim shame because I really, if this is all real, I would never say anything that I never want people to think I'm saying like, oh, they were doing X, Y, and Z, so they deserved it. That's not at all what I'd ever be saying. No one deserves to lose their life at the hands of somebody else, obviously. I do question though if there's truth to what Cyree was saying. Victim or victims over here, Kohberger over here, both ending up at the same place. I would believe that's because there was already an ongoing investigation at that house. My guess is Brian was working, and I saw Lana had posted Daniel Tiango's like phone number 8458 at WSU Police Department, and I posted that a long time ago about the oddity of open position, same last four phone number or very close to. I think it was one digit off, and I think it was a mistake. How is that? And then there's the thing about Brian having two phones. Well, I know law enforcement officers and people who work for three-letter agencies have two phones. Why? And I think it's sad if Cyree is kind of doing something to. Why would Cyree do what he's doing if it's not true? He might be if Brian was working as a federal agent. Because it's not like, oh, he was working and a judge just lets you go. That's not how the law works, sadly. Hold on, guys. Who are you talking about? Yes, see? Okay. Oh, and by the way, I have Brent Kopaka. I was just looking at his people search that I did a while back, and I was re-looking at things. His email addresses. He must have been either a CI or something because his email is there's a couple. Um, One is buy from cop, BUY from KOP, buy from cop, but he could say buy from Kopaka. So I think he was a CI. I don't think Bryan was a CI. I don't think Bryan would be a CI. I think Bryan is highly intelligent, maybe very weird. But I also think that if he was working in any capacity with law enforcement in the area, he was the weirdo that became the patsy. And if a cousin, if I'm correct, and the Snyder thing is not that hard to figure out because, I mean, you go back like 3 generations, four, there's Snyder in Bryan's family. And remember, he had like a relative there, an aunt who, well, no, the aunt that didn't like him was in Nevada, but he has relatives there, cousins. And a cousin's touch DNA potentially could match whatever they had to long lost somebody of Bryan or his daddy. I don't think Sai's telling the truth. No, I don't think so. And what Sai Ray said, and I'm gonna show what Pav said, but I'm not showing what Pav said about boxing. What Sai Ray said about boxing, and Pav knows boxing, he says so. I can't say that's facts, but we know Pav's talked about boxing. What he said about Bryan being however good is not true. I mean, Bryan took like cutesy like fashion boxing photos, and I love Bryan so long he's not a killer, okay? I think Bryan's just a very smart, autistic, different person. And I mean, I think that it's cute that he was like clearly late teens when he took this boxing photo. And I'll find it and put it on my community page because I've shown it a few times. Bryan can't hurt a fly. And the fact that Steve G keeps saying things and then they're like, yeah, let's go back, let's go to trial. Chrissy says in one breath that she's read the documents and understands, and then she says something else that clearly shows she doesn't understand. If they're grieving parents, fine. Why are they still watching? Like before all this happened, why are they still watching at all? If they didn't actually expect this. Hi, Scott. Well, I think a lot of people could be bad drivers or have a history of bad driving, but every bad driver doesn't make you a killer. You know? I mean, I have a. He was so polite with the officers too, though. I don't know. I don't know. And if I'm wrong about Bryan, I'll be the first to tell y'all I was wrong. I do not see it. And please, somebody explain to me, then how is it that we see, not see, we're not going to go there with the seeing, but we hear multiple people. It's just like with Nolan Wells. And I'm not going to get started because I don't know what y'all's opinion is on that, but I have my very deep, thought out opinions on Nolan Wells and that 911 call. How is it? It's just not possible. Hi, Big Mike. Good to see you. Well, Brett Payne's. Ugh. Here's the deal. I think that a lot of the people in Moscow come from families, even the Funks, the Showalters. They come from families that have all hailed from somewhere. A lot of people used to pass away young, like way back when. So then my husband would marry my sister if I passed. And that's just how they lived. And it wasn't like that was a big deal. Many times they wanted to do that also to keep it in the family, like the bloodline. And so It's not really weird to them, but it's weird to me, especially when it comes to crime and covering up for oneself or one's family. And I find it just very odd. I think that a lot of these people, exactly, and Holly Berry, guess what? Same kind of gun cops or agents carry. I double checked that one when I first read that document. And how come we can't? I mean, it's so ridiculous. We can't see half of the documents. We cannot see the like interrogation. Bryan Kohberger is probably the only person ever interrogated in this whole case. Not the people that, were in the house when it occurred, not the people closest to them. And Jack D just like fell off somewhere along the line when, I mean, I think Maddie's boyfriend had more of a reason to be mad if she was on OnlyFans. I don't know. I don't know. But everyone's sketch to me. But okay, I'm going to get to the point of this. We're going to watch some of this. And also, I decided I'm playing a little bit ahead of this clue game because of it talks about a dog. I just think this person knows a lot to have made this whole long movie that we're not going to watch the whole thing. How do you know so much? And where's the information that this guy was ever questioned, whomever it is? And again, Enon Harsh, like, where's that guy? Where's half of the other people? Where's Reed Upmore? How come half of these interviews, and I've asked, I get told no. I get told they're with the FBI, or you can't because it's Maisie and Hunter Chapin. It's privacy. I don't know why there's privacy when most cases we get to see everything once it's done for sure. I don't get it. Look at Nolan Wells. We're getting to see certain things, and I'm sure eventually sooner than Idaho, but that's also, never mind. Not gonna go there. Ring around the rosy. I always say that. I think they're all bad, most of them, and they retire and then they go get another job, and hence why I'm not worried that Anne. I don't think Anne's going to face repercussions. I personally was told from the start and didn't understand. Bryan would walk. It just, I didn't think it would take this long, but Bryan would walk, and that Bryan was part of this, whatever that means. I don't know. Yeah, no, they never read. Yeah, I watch so many interviews or interrogations. You see the faces of everybody. And it's like, why are we protecting these kids? What right do they have? If I got arrested or if I did something, I know that wouldn't be the case. And it's not just because I'm half black. It's just because that's how real life is. Hence why I don't trust what's actually happening. And how come, where's Adam Lauda? Where's his interview? Maddie, what'd you tell Adam? Adam, why don't you come out and tell us? I mean, at least with Nolan Wells' case, they're coming out and saying whatever they want people to believe. How come nobody's done that in this case? How come Showalter didn't come out and say anything? Adam, Jack, none of them. None of them. I don't get it. Yeah, Nancy Guthrie, poor lady. And I don't trust the sheriff. Well, here's the sad thing. At least I like my sheriff in this town because I grew up with his little girl long ago. But like, I don't know. I don't really. It's sad when you can't trust law enforcement, and it's getting to be worse and worse. And if this can happen to Bryan Kohberger, and I mean, like I said, if I'm wrong and he did this, then I will actually say I was wrong. But I would like people to show me the overwhelming evidence that everyone still is claiming that there is, because there's not. There just isn't. Oh, wow. Moscow snowing. So was it truly, truly Molly? That's so weird because I was cleaning out my documents, guys, because I have more about this in my phone, in my laptop, in my everything. And I came across my printout of what happened to Molly's husband. Okay. And I was reading, like, it was in a newspaper that I printed out. Who is Nathaniel Nesbitt? Wow, I've got a lot of questions, actually. A lot. But I appreciate you being here because I seriously would just love to get, like, the lowdown on Moscow. I really would. I would love it, love it, love it. Who's in Texas with Kaylee? Well, that's part of some of my questions. Like about last names Snodgrass and Mundy, like Germer and Mundy that Pavev has talked about. I think his name is Jacob Mundy, and then, or one of them's a Germer, one of them's a Mundy, and a Snodgrass. And one of them has, and they're all tied to each other, $1 million house in Austin. Orange County. I love Orange County. The sheriff is the love of your life. Is the sheriff in Orange County bad? I just can't with these people. I think that it takes a special person to be an officer or do anything in law enforcement, the justice system, being a doctor, being a teacher, a veterinarian. Like, there's some things you can't just fly by with being a shitty person at all, you know? You just can't. But okay. I'm going to start this, you guys, and it's going to start out a little trigger warning. It's not that bad, but if you get it, you get it. So that's the only reason it's kind of bad. They had you on speed dial. Girl, what you doing over there? The cops did? Well, I guess that's good that you didn't have them on speed dial. Yes. Farley. They all work together. Oh, I love that, Noelle. I love that. I have a special place in my heart for people with dementia. I can't imagine. I cannot imagine. I think my dad would have ended up there. So that's very kind because people with dementia end up lost and have no clue really. So that's kind. I love that, actually. Do you live in California? I can't remember. Girl, if you do, I forgot. Then I shouldn't have. Farley is? Interesting. He's always finding himself there, but always somehow managing to maneuver himself out of prison as well. I forgot. I think I did like I haven't checked on him in a while, but I used to get alerts on him. Oh, that's so kind. Noelle. Oh. You're sweet, Dad. And that's kind. And I'm not saying all cops are bad. I know some very great officers. I just find that they're few and far between these days. And I also can say I don't blame, like, I don't know who would want to be an officer and put their life on the line in this world we're living in and how dangerous it is. And that's sad. But America has quickly, drastically changed. Oh, I love him. That's got to be so hard, Noelle. I just watched a show about kind of something like that, and it's just so sad. It really, truly is. Because you know them, and that's hard that they don't know home, and you just want them to know home. Oh, I feel for you. You do live in California. Okay. Oh, Moscow. Oh my gosh. I'm forget. Oh, Paul. I'm trying to remember. I just printed out a Farley related to Bryan, actually. And I know that I'm telling the world that everyone's related to Bryan, but guess what? The half the world kind of is. Maybe very distantly, but um trying to see if I have it like grabbable. I want to say his name was Paul. Also, the Rhodes family. I don't know. These people are all just related, in my opinion. I can't find it, but I gotta find it now. Oh, Riverside. I mean, if you're gonna be in Southern California, you gotta be in the nice parts. I love Newport, Laguna, Huntington. Huntington, I love. It's like, well, I love all of them, and I would live there in a heartbeat. But had a lot of fun summers. Paul was Tyson's dad. Okay, and it might have been a woman, but Bryan's. I don't know, but what I do know is okay. Is there a guy there? Sorry, you guys, I'm off topic, but I like that I have someone from Moscow in here. So honestly, um, that's kind of a cool blessing. Do you know a guy though that looks a lot like Bryan in Moscow? Kind not like a rougher around the edges like look alike. Because I've seen this picture of a guy, and I could see how he would look like Bryan, except he just looks more scruffy and like maybe not trying to be like I judge people, but I'm human. He just looks scruffy around the edges, and like he could fit Bryan's description. So I don't know. I just think that Bryan was working and got caught up with the cops, and he can't give himself up if he's trying to expose the cops and whatever was going on at that home. I mean, in my personal opinion, and I don't care again, I don't care what they were doing, but Newport, yeah. I don't care what they were doing at that house. I care that it's supposed to be like covered up. Like nobody deserves that if that really happened. We should all know the truth though, so people can live and learn and maybe not get entangled and intertwined with bad situations. Oh my gosh, your Easter was in Idaho. California people sure love Idaho. I won't go. Actually, I will. If Bryan Kohberger gets out, I'll be there. I'll be there. And my dog can meet his dog, and we can just be weirdos together. Because I think it's so sad people just talk so awful about that kid. And it's like that picture of Bryan and his dog, I'm going to make it the background next time. It's the most loving picture. That dog looks like it loves Bryan Kohberger so much. He's not the person he's being portrayed. I know he's not. Biggest thing that doesn't make sense is how there was no mixture of DNA between the victims. Because if that's the case, then that means there are probably 4 perpetrators, which I personally just believe, like, I don't know how you get that many people to do something like that, but it's not like it's never happened. And I believe whatever audio, it doesn't matter what's being said in audio that we've heard, but there's multiple people in that house, and there's no way that nobody heard the scream. There's no way Murphy wasn't going berserk, and I do believe Murphy was purposely put outside. It was all too planned. Right, for what? Yeah. Can okay, Moscow's snowing. One real question. What's like what's the vibes? Is there like cult like activity there? Like with I don't mean like frat boy pledge oath whatever. I mean like bigger than that. Like ritualistic. Because that's my thoughts. Bear Island sounds kind of scary. Anything in Idaho sounds kind of scary to me, though. Literally. So, do you think I'd be totally crazy if I said I think that it was like satanic ritual? Like, I was told that, but I think, well, without saying names, because I don't want to put you like on the spot, what do you think happened? Moscow snowing? Is it snowing in Moscow? Do people buy a lot of snow in Moscow? Because I think that that's something left out of, mostly left out of. Like, these kids were playing around doing things, and that's fine and dandy. But I think it was more serious than that. Like, have you seen, like, I guess the house is gone now. Like, what are your thoughts? As, like, do you think that it was drugs? Well, you said you think Bryan's involved. I just don't think that guy could do it. I don't. I just wish we could all figure it out and understand and like move on. Like 4 years is a lot of time. And I feel horrible if Bryan's locked up there and innocent. And if he did it, then I believe then it goes back to my thoughts of cult like behavior and grooming by family. Maybe, well, I'm not going to say it yet, but I do think the Snyder thing's weird, and I do wonder why the IGD had to be kept such a secret from the public as to who it was that was identified. I mean, I get it to a point, but everything's such a secret in this case. Why can't we ever know what really occurred? Oh, good question, Thomas. Moscow snowing. That's a great question. I wasn't even thinking that. How extensive? Wow. How extensive is the influence of Pastor Doug Wilson in the city outside the church? I don't think many. Well, I'm not going to answer for him. Wow. Your last name is Snow. Oh my gosh, I just like literally saw the last name Snow today, and I said, "Oh," and then I thought of Candace Owens for something else. But oh my gosh, I'm quite intuitive. If there's a cult activity or satanic ritualistic shit, they keep it well hidden. Well, I think that's the point. But good to know. Thanks for that answer. What do you think about Dougie Boy Fresh, Doug Wilson? That was a great question. One I'm very interested in knowing. Because Doug Wilson was, you know, he met with Charlie Kirk months before, just a few months, if not 1 month or 2 months before Charlie left the earth, allegedly. I just like I want to go to Moscow so bad because I want to know what it's like, but like I would rather just get to be told because it's if you're an outsider, especially from California, I know that they're not really thrilled to, be welcoming. And I own a towing company here. I do the towing for the Groves Abandoned. Oh, okay, you'll get to Wilson in a minute. Okay, wow. Okay. If you want to come up here and talk, you can. This is wild. The Grove. Yep. We're listening. Ears wide open. Aren't you guys all happy that this is happening? Because it's better than listening to me make assumptions. You okay, baby? Bad dream? You're all right. You okay? I'm right here. You want to come by me? Are you okay? Come here. Sorry, you guys. Little's like, was having a bad dream and sounded like she was choking. You okay? Go back to sleep. It's okay. I love you. Go back to sleep. You're fine. Sorry, guys. My child scares me sometimes. Good girl. No, 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 no. What are we knowing? 6 abandoned vehicles at the... Which May? Like, what year are we talking about? Was it a white one? See, this is what I don't trust about Moscow. Like, it's too... Yeah, what color? You've got us all on pins and needles. What color? More. Who was it registered to? We'll take initials. Oh, wow. So May, okay. So May 23. Right when, oh my gosh. Did it have anything in it? Like red or anything else? Do they have that many cars that are abandoned? Isn't that kind of odd? That's weird to me. That's very weird. Or do people just disappear in Moscow? I mean, that's crazy. Wow. Who's going to Moscow? Not me. Hi, Virgil Green. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. We have a real life Moscow person here, giving us the deets. Yes, can we come? You want to come on vacation and tell us all, and maybe it's safer for you. No, you said you're there. Your family's deep rooted, so you're safe. You're a safe insider. So I get to the vehicles. I get the vehicles to my yard. The launcher was silver. I kind of guessed you were going to say silver, not white, and older. When I got into it, there's a graduation. Huh? It was Xana's. What do you mean? Do you want to come up here and chat? Xana's. And but Xana drove the blue car, no? Do you mean Jasmine? Her sister? If you mean, oh my god. This is, oh, I remember. Oh, I do mean Jasmine though, because Jasmine, didn't she make a video with like her graduation hat and it was like decorated and it had something about Xana on it? Oh. And it was abandoned. So why are so many cars abandoned in the Grove parking lot? Like, how is that normal? What? So whose car was the blue car? Or do you mean like Xana had it and then sold it to somebody? I just don't trust any of the story. Not your story, but the people and about this whole thing. And I find it just very weird. Everyone assumes who was the targets. I mean, Cyree saying Maddie because why? Because her and Bryan, so no one even asked Cyree, well, was it because allegedly Bryan went to the Mad Greek and Maddie worked there? Or is it just because Maddie could be seen from her window and her boots were there and you could watch her from afar? And because she's blonde and pretty. The logic with all of this is so weird to me. And I wouldn't doubt that we haven't been told the truth. I mean, how come no one ever, no one tied to the case, like law enforcement or anything, has ever explained why Hunter Chapin's car was there and why both of those cars were registered under, to Ethan? Why? Yet Ethan, allegedly doing bad in school, and so why would he have two vehicles in his name? I don't disbelieve that Xana very well could have had another vehicle in her name. It's so weird. The whole thing's weird. Everything's weird. So what do you guys do with those vehicles? That just gives me the creeps. Very strange. But I remember the graduation hat. So she just left it there? That's weird. That's what people do in Moscow when cars break down? How old was it? How old are we talking? Well, I guess even a 2013 is old for being 2022. But I don't know. I guess Moscow is just a little bit different than some parts of the world. So I guess I'm not that surprised. But did you personally know anyone who had ever been at that house? That's so insane. Wow. Oh, it was a 2004. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, nothing about leaving a car somewhere makes sense, but I guess I can smile. Not nothing against Xana, or I'm not making fun of her. I remember one of the friends saying she didn't know how to cook, so I just that's kind of, I guess I could see that. I don't know what to do with the car, so I'm just gonna leave it. And I can see that. I feel like I know these kids now. Wow. So, do you think that, well, again, what are your thoughts on I know you said you think Bryan's involved. What do you think the real motive was for this? Do you really are you believing that it really was tied to money owed or whatever might have gone on in that house? And you said you've been there, you from there. Was it a party house? Were you ever there frequently in 2022-ish? Not at the house, but well, when did you get this red Dodge Challenger? 2022 as well? We should be very curious what was inside that car and who. So people just leave their cars at the Grove. I'm just shocked. You guys, I don't even know. They can't wrap my head around this. I mean, a 2015 red Dodge Challenger. Let me guess, it had a real big vroom vroom, wah wah, like loud muffler. Oh my gosh. And it was red. Did you have any other vehicles left there? Like, trying to think. Yeah, I'd love to know. Or did everyone just bypass after the media left? Because I know people hated the media being there. But, are people just moving on? Definitely a party house. I mean, it just makes, yeah, you're right. It makes no sense. Um, but what bothers me is that somebody was on the internet talking about it. Like, whoever Papa Rogers was, whoever 1122 King Road, Clue. Like, how does that just get bypassed? I know some people think that that was like federal agents just trying to pry, but I don't. Yeah, you said you knew the DoorDash driver. Um, is what we've seen like for real this legit story? Right, like nobody just typically goes in and do you has it been downplayed to you guys, cuz I feel like mainstream media has downplayed what I believe to be horrific in terms of how their lives were taken. Um I just feel like it just seems so planned out. Like, do you feel like the grub truck? Like, I watched the grub truck and I feel like everyone knew what was about to happen, but maybe that's just my mind because I now know and we see something and we believe it. Yeah, I get you. I wouldn't feel comfortable asking either. Like when you know someone, and it does seem like Molly's been through quite a bit in her life, and I mean now she's all over the internet as well. Does she know she's all over the internet? Because I would really hope she might not be like a YouTube loving person. Because I do feel bad. Like some people don't ask to get thrown into the midst of things, and we don't know because we think we know Molly and Molly's life, and at the end of the day, we really don't. And we also know from what we've seen that how the cops kind of handle her. I mean, it's strange. And if she did see something, I don't know. She's been through a lot. I guess I'll just say that. Yeah, I guess that's true, Noelle. Molly does seem like she kind of talks a lot, so she might have just thrown it out there like we've seen. Um, then again, I partially don't know if that's even like part of me doesn't trust that. Like, I feel like part of this is all just like the bigger picture that America is supposed to believe versus reality. Like, you're going to sit down and you're going to say this, and then we're going to let you go for X, Y, and Z. Another anomaly. First, we heard about it. Chief Fry said we don't have to worry. Like, they knew from yeah, they got their guy, in my opinion, from the beginning. Then they screwed up royally because in their plan was Bryan was their guy, in my opinion, from day one. Why? That's the question. $1 million question, really. Why Bryan? How'd they know Bryan? They did not get his name at the end of December. And Oh, that's what I was saying earlier. Lana had posted something about Daniel Tiango that saw the car and the weirdness of the phone number for WSU police. But she also posted a picture of, I assuming it was Daniel Tiango on a motorcycle or like a dirt bike looking thing. And I always have, well, I was kind of told, and then I read some things that whoever did it might have been on a like an enduro bike or something. Yeah, as like if I was Molly, I would be out of there. It seems like the cops really kind of play games with people and they take total advantage, which is awful. And then if you're someone like Molly and you get stuck in that cycle of like the cops own you kind of. Yeah, they changed their tune. I think that they only changed their tune because they weren't actually able to like give up a guy right away, you know, and then you have Steve G all over the news right away. Don't make me be the alpha and all the things after that were said. Um, Noel says, "What do you think?" I think he mentioned Fry earlier. I think he. Oh, I have a question. Is it James Curtis Leonard that works for the police that Bubbly talked about a lot? That like the wife made like the dinner for Thanksgiving every year. I think they kind of all fell into the positions. Moscow says, I think Fry's an idiot who fell into the position, never meant to be a chief. The current chief, Dollinger, is corrupt. Yeah. I mean, I don't know who. I just don't know. I thought he was the guy that was on the wanted picture. Wanted? Are you talking about James Curtis Leonard? Yeah, Thomas says no disagreement here. I think that that's why I firmly believe that there was a bigger agency already in town, and if there was anything happening at that house and the police knew about it and Bryan was working to figure it out and eventually expose the corruption from cops to the house to the fraternities to the prosecutor's office, all the things in that town, it would make sense that Bryan would be near the house. It would make sense that Bryan could actually really fit in near the house as a college student. Bryan could, I mean, I just don't think we've, and sadly, I don't think we're ever going to get the truth, you guys, at all. Period. We're not. Oh, wow. I grew up with James Leonard. He's a killer. Oh, yeah. He did actually kill somebody. I, and wasn't he? So, how does he, how, that's like, how does that work? Like, in where I live, you don't do anything of the sort and then, like, just go be like a volunteer or anything with the police. Like, only in Moscow, I guess. But then, you know, Dylan's like, nothing bad ever happens in Moscow. Like, how is, you can't make both of those things be the truth at all. No, James Curtis Leonard, Noel. So, Moscow, what was your initial reaction like when you heard what happened? Like the day of? Because I mean, that must be really surreal. I mean, I've actually had kids I went to school with, 4 kids actually, their stepfather took their lives when their mom was out on her morning walk. And I remember how crazy it was. And I was in high school. It was wild. He was banging his friend's girlfriend and then killed his friend because he was going to tell James' wife. Oh my God, thank you, Lord. I just literally realized something. I didn't realize, and how ridiculous it is that I didn't realize it. In the audio, the name James is said several times. Oh my gosh. I don't know how I missed that one. I guess I was thinking of other James. I guess I was really thinking of another James. You were shocked? Yeah, I mean, I remember seeing it and I thought, oh my gosh, they must have all like OD'd or something. And I totally remember thinking when I heard that there was a dog at the house, I was like, well, who took the dog? And it just, I don't know how this happens. And I'll never believe the story we're being told. I don't believe that nobody heard. I don't believe the neighbors didn't hear. He lives 5 blocks from. Wow. Is there like what do you think about well, okay, Doug Wilson, do you believe any of that plays a role in not even maybe this, but how the town behaves because of the extremes of Doug Wilson? And I don't know. I mean, I feel Doug Wilson's culty, but I don't know how people are correlating that he would be tied to this. Yeah, it seems like Moscow's the place to go if you want to commit crimes, for lots of different crimes, it seems. But I guess if you're doing favors for law enforcement, then you somehow, they let you slide so long you do as they wish. What else? Bad dream. Don't bite me. Ow! Sorry, Bubba. Bad dream. My dog's an attack dog. It's okay, you're dreaming. Okay? You're all right. I just don't get it. Even Farley, he gets arrested how many times in a 2-year period, and he's back out on the streets. I mean, and then Emma Bailey and Demetrius, how was that even feasible that you provided something to a young man and his life is gone? And I wish that it would let me. I'm trying again. Add to page. It won't let me add this photo of this dude. I'm gonna remove it and try again because I want you guys to see this dude. I have a question. What about the athletes? How well do they fit in to the Moscow environment? I guess I'm asking about the black athletes, to be quite honest. Yeah, they're called Kirkers. Yeah. Because Kirk means church, I believe. Our Doug's his white. Okay. I just wondered if it's really the vibe in Moscow that Christchurch is actually at all involved. I mean, because every town has their extremist of church people, doesn't make them. I just never understood why that was the huge part of initially people's thought process. It might be culty or kind of culty, and I know Doug also kind of supports like criminal reform, I guess. I don't know that it's the same type of criminal reform that I would support per se, because he's kind of like Erica Kirk, Charlie Kirk's widow, um, and her involvement with some church situations where if you're gonna believe in I don't know, when it comes to assault and doing things to people, I mean, if you took a life of someone, I will say that I do believe, dependent upon who it is and what they've done to change their life and how it all happened, maybe. But I don't think putting people who have done things to children or anything like that, like, I don't think it's worth the risk to put them around people. And Doug Wilson apparently does. But that's between him and God and their God and themselves, you know? You know. I agree that he wanted to reform the whole town of Moscow. But I also, part of me thinks that from what I remember, and I have like Rory Wilson's, his grandson's like documents like from court about the whole sticker gate or whatever, and I do believe they were happy, not happy, but this took a lot of like light off of them at the time for Stickergate, which I don't know why you would get in trouble for putting stickers up, but it seems like a lot of pettiness goes on in Moscow as well, which is ridiculous in my opinion. Like, can't we all just get along? But that's kind of my motto in life, and obviously we can't, because here we are today, and people can't just like move along without, you know, staying. You got to get in somebody else's lane. It's like, not, why can't we just let it be? As long as no one's hurting someone, like, we shouldn't have to all just be at each other's throats every day. People are just not even kind anymore. If you leave the house, it's like, how many, I love when I see kind people, and I'm kind even if I'm not in a good mood, because I think that's like what we should all be doing, because everyone's struggling with something. We don't all just have wonderful days and perfect lives, and I just don't get it. But Wilson had expressed his, yeah, I read that one. Okay. They're taking over the small towns, yeah. Right, and they're buying big properties and making big buildings, and I just don't get that. Like, I guess he really does want to take over the town. He's probably very much Turning Point USA like. I bet Erica Kirk will be in Moscow before the end of the year. I'd bet money on that one. Yeah, it seems he does look the other way, and that's shocking when you're a pastor of a church in which you wish to grow. I mean, like I said, I think forgiveness is one thing, and people turning their lives to God after making mistakes, that's great. But the whole PDF thing and putting people around children or young adults even, and most of the time, like, I'm sorry, but what parent knows about that and like lets their child be around that person? I mean, sorry, not sorry. If I had a kid and I know that, I'm not going to feel bad because I don't trust you around my child. I just am not going to trust you around my child, because how do I know that you changed? God might know, I don't know. And that's not a risk I'm willing to take. Just not. So that's kind of where I don't know Doug Wilson and his whole thing on a few things. Um, I mean, I just don't I don't know. It just gives me really weird small town vibes. And what are your thoughts on Scott Green? Like, he seems a type of way to me, but I just feel like everyone, I mean, Doug Wilson clearly has money from his growing church and his books and everything he's published and continues to publish. Yeah, I don't think they change either. Few and far between. I guess I'll give them, I think very few people, I'll use Kaylee's sister's words, Olivia's words, that she talked about Bryan and addiction and wanting to claim that Bryan just had to get that high and it went from one addiction to another. So, yeah, certain things you can't change, but it's not a risk you can take when children are involved. And it's one thing if people want to do something that's only affecting them in their life, but not if it's going to touch the lives of others and harm anybody, especially a child. And it's just something that I truly think it takes a miracle to change that in a person. And I'm not saying they can't change, but I'm saying I don't trust you around my kid or any kid or my dog or anybody. Like, it's just not something you can do. And I think if people really were changed, they would understand that. Like, they wouldn't put themselves in that position. But that's scary. When it comes to kids, you don't mess with kids, and you just don't. You don't. Yeah, Scott, isn't that his name? Scott Green, the president of U of I? You know, the white haired man who goes around partying with all the kids like he's their age still. Yeah, Coomer Scott Green, the guy who lives in the house, the big house, the Idaho University of Idaho house, the money man. I was gonna ask about somebody else. Oh, I have. Like, I feel like Idaho's is just a place everyone wakes up in the morning and then they go to school or to their job, and it's like, then they go to the grub truck or somewhere downtown, and then they go home by dark, and then it's cold and strange, and nobody likes anybody that they don't know. Doesn't seem like a welcoming place at all. Unless you have a bunch of money when you arrive, then I think it probably would be welcoming. I'm just really weirded out by the car thing. Wow. Well, now you guys, okay. I'm not going to make you guys watch the whole thing, but I am going to show you something because I'm going to end up feeling bad if I don't show the clue game part of what I was going to show you. Because then I don't have to feel bad for saying that I kind of think that this is all becoming obvious, or it's just too much to me to believe. And if it's really supposed to be believed and it's all really real, we're living in reality, like, how is someone going to ever step in? Because I think we've all witnessed almost 4 years of a really, like, a circus, like, for real. And it's like the law, justice, people's lives. And we're just supposed to sit back and, as Americans, watch what's happened. And even if Bryan did it, the way that this is being handled shouldn't set precedents in America. As my cute little baby that was made for me said, this should not be what sets precedents in America today, because it shouldn't. And I'm interested to see how this is going to play out. I firmly believe it's strategically planned. And how come Anne's not coming out saying to hush like she did with Turvey? I just don't get it. And I really just can't wait to see what Hitler does. I know he's not going to, I mean, he might let an evidentiary hearing occur, but I just think that this is all kind of becoming a joke. And I don't mean that rudely. I don't understand why the parents aren't, like, Steve G is mad at certain aspects of this case. he's not concerned, or he's not expressed concern, that even if Bryan did it, and even if Cyree says Bryan did it by himself, that Bryan probably didn't do it by himself, and they're not testing the hair in Ethan's hand. They don't seem very concerned at who else did this. They're just ready to go back to the firing squad. Firing squad. I was going to say firing range. Mind you, I literally pictured a firing squad to be like the olden days. Like, I pictured like a big old cannon and a line full of men just shooting at the criminal. I'm very glad to know it's not that, but it's still really bad. Yeah, there's no no accountability. Which is scary, because I think that we're living in times where certain people get away with unaliving just like that. Certain people get blamed just like that. And the rest of us are just supposed to sit back and kind of watch it all fall apart, I guess. And I don't know why people aren't more bothered, because at the end of the day, if it's that easy to go either way for anybody, that should scare everybody. It really should. And I'm appalled, and I'm not going to talk about my best friend that I adore so much, our lovely president. I'm not going to go too hard on him today, but I'm appalled by the behavior of the president. I don't care what side you're on when it comes to politics, but at some point, how are children supposed to look up to, you used to be little, and I want to be the president of the United States someday. Like, if I heard a kid say that, I would lose my mind, and I would say, no, you don't. Mm-mm. That's not, like, let's be a bully. I mean, we can't teach kids to be bullies because they're already bad enough. I mean, there's got to be some line that we don't cross anymore. Hi, Kathy. Good to see you. The new lawsuit? Did I miss something? Oh, you mean, like, I don't know, Kathy. I think that I'm going to lose my mind. That's what I think. It's really a mess. And everybody go follow Kathy, because she always is so kind and always shouts me out when I go in her lives, and she's got great information, and she's much better than me at explaining anything, trust me. But I don't know what to think, Kathy. It's wild. But Kathy, we have a Moscow person, Moscow Snowing, and he's been kind of filling us in this evening on some of the deets of the streets in Moscow. It's interesting. So it's been such a pleasure. Thank you, Thomas. There's the link to go follow Kathy, you guys. You don't know much about Scott Green other than his house. Yes. Yes, it's a close by thing. I'm so, thank you for, again, helping us out kind of with like the lay of the land, getting to know some things that we wouldn't know from someone who's actually been there, from there. Is there anything else you think we should like know, like the real anything? I'm trying to think of any other wild questions that I have. Thomas, anybody, you got questions? Is James Elle the man who was arrested? Yes. Yes. And the one that the wife does like the Thanksgiving every year with the police, and did that right after. And I'm shocked that I didn't put two and two together. The name James. Okay, yeah. Would you? I would love that. Seriously, I think everyone would love it. Here I'm gonna just put my email. No, that's great. I'm gonna put my email. Gosh, I'm getting old. I can't. I have like small font, like because I used to love having small font, and I'm like, man, it must be because I'm looking at a screen too often, not because I'm getting old. Kathy says, yeah, I don't know that I trust any of them. Yeah, he's MIA, Rosie. I think that they toss the officers around to other departments for reasons that I can't explain, but I think that they do that so that like they don't get caught up doing something, and I don't know what something is. But it's just too weird to me, the whole thing. Um High mysteries of deeper things. What about AT and the other parents? What do you mean exactly? Ann Taylor? Email me, Moscow. We can set something up because I'm sure I have 1,000 more questions and I would love to have you. That would be awesome. And I appreciate you being here. I appreciate all of you being here. I think you mean Ann Taylor. I'm just shocked about everything. I thought it was a good thing. I think it's been a really wild week because we got this news, that he was filing for post conviction relief. And then yesterday, Cyray kind of threw a wrench in everything. I'm just confused. I think that it's confusing. And I think that maybe it's meant to be. That's my opinion. Um, I'm not sure why, though, aside from that's what it's always been meant to be, like totally confusing. So we can't really ever figure out through the chaos what's going on. I agree. Yeah, I've asked that same question too. Mysteries. Like I could have, I should have went and bet $1 million on we know who we would hear from right away, as we did, and as we have. Um, and Cy Ray had said, or I had heard, he was only doing one interview, which we saw the one interview, which kind of everything has changed in such a short amount of time for Cyray or whatever, and that's strange to me. But if you're distracting for whatever reason, I guess it makes sense. But it doesn't make sense to me with doing like the Brian Enton thing with the G family and how it's so far off base from what his report even says. Like, at what point is someone going to be honest about any of it? Because like the public isn't stupid and they know we're watching, and that's why part of me does just believe this is something social experiment wise, and we've literally been BK ultra, and we are like all kind of addicted to Idaho 4, and it's kind of frustrating because especially this last couple days, because I'm just like, what is going on? And this is 4 years almost later. Like, how is that even possible? We have no answers. Bad people are just out there. I mean, have they harmed anyone else? How do the cops or anybody tied to this case, how do they sleep at night? How does Judge Hippler sleep at night? He was not having anything to do with Bryan Kohberger's case from day one. He told us all. He wasn't happy to be there. And his facial expressions and his like basically like I hate my life while I'm here every time we saw him in court kind of told his story. But yeah. But I'm going to play this clip and then I'm going to let you guys go. It's 11:11. Make a wish, y'all. Littles make a wish. Oh, she's so cute. My dog is so cute. Okay, I'm going to find this clip and I'm just going to put it. I'm not going to make you watch even the whole thing of what I was going to share, but we're going to watch the game of Clue portion. Oh, yes. Thanks, Ralph. Doug Wilson, somewhat responsible. Pete Hegseth. Yes. The defense secretary, whatever he is. He shouldn't be whatever he is. They changed the name. Department of War. Not Department of Defense, but Department of War. Yeah, Doug Wilson is his mentor. And Pete Hegseth and Doug Wilson were just recently together, praying together. Also, there's the ties to Charlie Kirk and such. I just find it kind of like odd. Kirkers and Kirk. But yeah, Pete Hegseth. Guy in charge of our safety. One of them. One of my two favorites of the people in charge of our safety. But I don't talk about politics. Wow, you did, Moscow? He seems like a nice guy. I talked to Xana's mom a few times leading up to like the month before the plea. And I pray for her. She was doing really well. She was such a nice individual. I do feel that Xana and Maddie's dad, they both kind of got the crappy end of this whole thing. And just, I think they were portrayed in a bad light. And that's my opinion. I trust less the other families, but that's just my opinion. I hope I'm wrong about all the things that I've thought over the years, but I do question certain things, especially when you have triplets and you call them twins now, and the ties to Othram with the Chapins, and now the Gonsalves family as well. I don't trust anyone who's not going to use money from their foundation to test DNA that needed to have answers when it was their child, which is the reason for that foundation. I don't trust that. And when when Christy is on Facebook literally cussing at people who aren't being rude, they're literally just asking questions and they're being told to F off, it's weird. Just my opinion. Thank you, Thomas, again. Oh, you know Shannon Gray, too? You know everybody, but I guess that's what happens when you live where you live. I don't think Shannon Gray helped the family at all. Like, I don't know why they paid him. I mean, if they're friends, I would just think, like, they're friends. I don't think Shannon helped them at all. Sorry. I just don't. I could have been a better attorney probably because I don't think they would have had the ability to talk so much. And it probably would have just ended off better, you know? Just my opinion. I still think that, Moscow, and I never won't think that. I will always think that. I hope I'm wrong, but I question that whole family. I really do. Never won't. That's kind of part of the culty thing I was trying to talk about, like, and maybe not culty, but just like a way of life for people. And until this case, I never knew how some families live. And I'm not saying they do live that any type of way because I don't know them, but just the behaviors and the demeanor after, and I want to know why his vehicle was at that house in crime scene tape and why it was driving up there at 4:29 a.m. and why it's just so easy to like knock off the triplet that's not here anymore and call us twins. It's strange. Very strange. And I will say one thing I noticed going through my documents today of all sorts of people that I've looked into, so many birthdays or deaths were in November or November 12th, 13th, or 14th. Very strange. Um, what do you know about the Upmore family? If you know anything or care to say. If you don't want to answer anything, just don't. You don't have to. If you watch the press conference when he's outside the PD, it's super sus the way he acts. Oh, yeah. I've watched many times. I actually was thinking I needed to watch it again because I wanted to see if there was if you could tell, because his hair was pretty long at that time. I want to know if there was a chunk missing. And the whole thing's weird. The way he was supposed to be studying and how he got informed of what occurred. How come they never mentioned like, oh, we were just he never there was never a story like, oh, he was drunk so he walked back to Sigma Chi that night and Maisie went to sleep. It's weird. Yes, Virgil is so correct. I'm so glad and sorry, y'all. I kind of was way off my topic, but I'm grateful because this is like someone who actually knows a lot more than we ever will. And I do hope to get you on here eventually to chat because then people can ask questions and you will have a little time to like prepare and we can kind of chat prior to. Yeah, I agree. He was hiding his arms. I'm going to have to play that next time. I agree fully. And very uncomfortable looking. I totally agree with you. And none of it sits right with me. And I have to say, I just think that Xana wasn't accepted as someone that Ethan should be dating. I think they thought Xana was the reason maybe Ethan wasn't doing well in school. I don't think that's the case, though. I think Ethan probably had a lot of pressure on him to be whatever they wanted him to be. And he might not have been playing along as most kids at that age do when they don't feel like they want to follow what they're supposed to do. And they just want to be happy and live their life. Him and Xana looked so happy together. It's just sad. And the way Xana was spoken of, it was like when the news lady had said something about love and the parents both kind of just like chuckled like, oh, it was just like puppy love. It's like, well, maybe you hoped that was just that, but you don't get to control who your kids love. Sorry, Charlie or Farley or Chapins. You know, you just can't control it. But you guys, I'm going to play this right now. I'm going to put it at the game of Clue. It's a portion of it. Pay attention to what these people are saying because it's part of 1122 King Road, Clue Dude. And I wish I could show you this guy's picture, but it's not letting me, so I'm removing that. I'm going to share this with you guys, and then I know most of you have watched Pav's video, but Pav was the back end of this, but I'm going to just show you this, and I think you guys are going to get why it's interesting, to say the least. Let me put it to where it needs to be then, because I'm not going to make you watch all this, even though there are some allegorical things in here, but we're going to just start it right here. Hold on. Okay. Shoot. Okay. I'm going to start it here. This isn't too long. Pay attention to the investigators playing Clue. Maybe you'll get it, maybe you won't, but check it out. And I can't see what you guys are saying until I come back. I can see it on, actually, yeah, I can. I'll pull out my phone. But here we go, you guys. I guess it would help if I pushed play.
Yeah. The world is so small.
This is the Carbonara effect. Welcome to the Carbonara effect tonight, y'all. Tonight we get down and dirty with all of the magic.
She hated when I call and it's late.
Secret.
I don't want to keep you waiting.
You hear the work bell ring, and I march you to the table. You see.
Okay, you guys, I actually didn't realize that this was right here. I didn't realize it was gonna show you guys this, but it's right after this. So my bad. I didn't realize I was actually talking about it and that this would pop up, but bear with me.
The same old thing. Ain't no food upon the table. There's no fork up in the pan. But you better not complain, boy. You get in trouble with the man. Let the midnight special shine a light on me. Let the midnight special shine a light on me. Let the midnight special shine a light on me. Let the midnight special shine a ever-loving light on me. Yonder come Miss Rosie. Bow, 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 by the way she wears an apron.
What way? What way?
And the clothes she wore.
Boy, look at the clothes.
Let the midnight special shine a light on me.
Light on me.
Let the midnight special shine ever-loving light on me.
Let the
midnight special.
Let the midnight. Think your tape. Oh, Jesus. Jesus, that was good. Yeah, they're great. This thing's brand new. How about the radio? Radio doesn't work. You can't get anything out here. No entertainment. Now there's no entertainment. Damn it.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
There's been a murder.
Oh, he's dead, he is.
It's a classic game of Clue. Who done it, where they done it, and with which weapon they done it with.
I say it was in the kitchen with the wrench by Miss Scarlet. He's dead and alive, Brevy, you old geezer, with a bloody lead pipe.
Nice.
Oh, right. Nice. And in fact, the killer is Mr. Green.
Well, it could have been someone else.
Oh, I'm saying so.
It's a game of Clue.
Every person in this room has the perfect motive.
Stand back.
For murder.
What do you mean? Murder.
But only one of these suspects is the murderer. Is it the timid Mr. Green?
Why are you screaming? Because I'm right up what? Screaming.
Or the militant Colonel Mustard?
Oh, if I was the killer, I would kill you next.
Huh?
Said if.
Mrs. White, who helped her husband on his way.
What's a matter of life after death? Now that he's dead, I have a life.
Miss Scarlet, who's helped many men along the way.
Practice makes perfect. Huh.
Professor Plum, who's looking for a way.
I'm lucky.
Mrs. Peacock,
I have absolutely no idea what we're doing here, but I am determined to enjoy myself.
or did the butler do it?
No.
Paramount Pictures invites you to an evening of mystery. murder.
This is getting quite serious.
And madness. In the movie that makes a scene of the crime. Clue. It's not just a game anymore.
Last girl's that one with the defects, cellophane shrink wrap so correct. Red dogs under eagle legs. She looks so good that he gets down and begs. She's watching the
Sorry, guys. I don't know why it stopped. Hold on. All right, sorry guys, I don't know, but it's coming, the clue. But did you guys, I didn't notice this either, but it starts out, it was Mr. Green, but okay, I don't have a clue why it stopped sharing. But hi Jane, and again, everybody, thank you for being here. Hopefully it was kind of entertaining. I appreciate that Moscow Snow was in here, and I hope I can arrange for him to come back and answer like lots more questions of not just mine, but all of yours as well. I'm gonna skip a little and see. We're all okay. We're right. I'm gonna just play it from here because it's right about to be at the game of Clue, and I just find this odd, and I think you guys will too. So I'm gonna let it play, and then I'll come back, and then we will say farewell for the night. Hold on, guys.
Long shot at that jumping sign. Invisible shivers run down my spine. Cut the baby taking off her clothes. Close up with a sign that says we never close. You snatch your chew and you match your cigarette. She pulls her eyes out with a face like a magnet. I don't know how much more of this I can take. She's filing her nails while they're dragging the lake. She's watching the detectives. Oh, he's so cute. She's watching the detectives. Oh, and you think you're alone until you realize you're in it. Now fear is here to stay, love is here forever. They call it instant chess when it's past the legal limit. Someone's scratching at the window. I wonder who is a detective from the detective. You belong to the parents who are ready to hear the rest about their daughter's disappearance. So it's it took a miracle to get you to stay. It only took my little fingers to blow you away. Just like watching the detectives. Don't get cute. Just like watching the detectives. I get so angry when the teardrops start. But you can't go on because you got no heart. Watching the detectives. It's just like watching the detectives. Watching the detectives. Watching the detectives. Watching the detectives.
My name is Bradley A. Fanner.
I'm a private investigator from Modesto, California.
I'm investigator Maki Kudaka. I specialize in criminal defense and surveillance.
I'm investigator Tim Helton from Tim Helton Investigations. I never played Clue as a kid, and this is going to be a unique opportunity.
I say, what better way to show who the world's greatest investigator is than friendly game of Clue. I want to suggest that this crime was committed in the study by Mrs. White with the lead pipe.
I suggest it was in the kitchen by Miss Peacock with the candlestick.
I'm going to make a suggestion that it is Miss Scarlett in the kitchen with a wrench.
You should be taking good notes, Maki.
I always take notes, Bradley.
It's an investigator's most important tool.
Clue should have DNA these days and fingerprints.
Weren't there any surveillance cameras in any of these rooms?
I can't help but laugh, you guys. I can't help but laugh. Like, y'all hear this, right? Like, and is it just me, or does the guy in the blue shirt sound a lot like Cyree? It's kind of weird, but anywho, it's almost over, but keep listening. Go back.
Crime was committed by Colonel Mustard
in the hall
with a lead pipe.
Damn it. I think you're ready, Tim.
To make an accusation.
Do it.
An accusation?
Don't pressure me.
I think it was done in the ballroom by Colonel Mustard with a wrench. Sounds like your MO to me. I just did some great process of elimination that you guys didn't see.
I think this crime was committed by Colonel Mustard
with a knife. This is getting tense. Can't we ping everybody's cell phone?
Like real ready?
See where they were at? Why are you looking at my...
Trying to get some clues here.
He's trying to intimidate you with this look.
You need to obtain that information legally.
Is there a limit to how many suggestions you can make before you have to...
That's the key to solving a murder, though, is asking a lot of questions, right?
When I was a much younger guy and got set up, they pretended my training officer got killed with a pipe.
How many murders have you seen committed with a candlestick in your career?
None.
None?
None.
I wonder why there isn't a character in this game that's trying to feed us false information and throw us off. Investigators, I'm ready to make an accusation. I believe this murder was committed by Colonel Mustard with the lead pipe in the library.
Are you out?
I'm out.
All right, investigators, I think I'm ready to make an accusation. I believe it was Colonel Mustard in the ballroom with a lead pipe. Ballroom, Mustard, lead pipe. And then I win.
I'm really upset because I know Tim cheated.
My excellent investigative skills had no bearing on this game whatsoever.
There's a mirror right behind me, and I know he was looking through the reflection. And go figure, he murdered me too.
I mean, if this was real life, my reputation just went out the window.
Well, I feel pretty good about it. I'm going to miss Brad. I'm sorry I just met Maki today, but that's the way things go.
Hello, Orson. We try to think about the floor.
Of course, naturally. I had gotten used to being one of the leaders in my last job. I was determined to build up the same position.
Is that weird, or is that weird? Did y'all pay attention? I think lots of the rooms had surveillance, but like, it's like they were mocking I mean, like reality, you know? I mean, I just, it's insane to me. Um, and I've watched this over and over and over again. And this was put out 2 years ago. So we wouldn't know all the things. Some things, yes. But I find it very odd that it's just too fitting. And hence why I said I'm starting to believe that none of this is what we thought it was, anyways. Yeah, I remember. I used to love Clue, Virgil. I used to love it. Yeah, I like reheard this today, and then after listening to Ray, I was like, is this for real? You know? It's all very strategic, but I feel like we're being played in a sense. And why, I don't know. But how much more do we have to make it anything, or how much more do we have to attempt to make anything make sense? That's the question. So, I don't know, you guys. It's really weird, kind of funny, a little shocking, and I probably will dissect this whole video again because I've done it multiple times, but going through piece by piece and finding things that I think are like actually relating to what's going on right now is interesting. And so I'll probably share more in the coming days. But I was going to share Pav, but Pav doesn't need to be shared because y'all probably watch him anyways. And his whole thing today was like a lot like what I'm saying, though. Very strategic. I'm not sure what I believe about the whole thing, of any of it. It's confusing, it's chaotic, it's distraction, but why? That's what we have to ask ourselves. Why? How come this can, like, it's the messiest case ever? Maybe not ever, but why? And if it's some kind of experiment, why? Like, we all kind of failed. In my opinion, we failed. Because this whole IDAHO4 thing has truly, it's like the phenomenon of the century on the internet. And people have gone nutty. People let their nuttiness come out on the internet. People have learned. People have not. People have shown lots of sides of themselves. And some people have grown. I've grown. I've learned, but I've also almost lost my mind at one time. And then it's like, you wonder of the human aspect of this. Like, what are we doing? And why are we allowing it to be so messy? If this is real life, there's a real life huge issue. And if it's not, part of me is like, great, because that means 4 kids didn't lose their lives. But if that's the case, then we got played, and I want to know why. So, I don't know, you guys, but I want to know your thoughts. I have to get up really early tomorrow, which I did today because I thought my plans for today were going to be today, and they're not. They're going to be for tomorrow. So I have to get up early, but I'm hoping to be live in the daytime tomorrow. I think tomorrow's Friday. So we can chat more. I really appreciate you guys. I really appreciate having the randomness of the Moscow snowing guy in here because I had found him months ago, and I just am thrilled that someone wants to share and help us understand Moscow, Idaho a little bit more. And I appreciate you guys all very, very much. And me and my red heifers and my fireworks and my dog, we're all gonna go to sleep. And you know, I just thought this was very Idaho-ish. So I had it saved and it made me think of red herrings in Idaho and all things wonderful about that little town. I can't even give it words. But Jane, I'm so glad you're here. Sorry, I think I said hi. I think I texted it, but I mean typed it. But thank you for being here. I forget you're not in this country. So good morning for you, and I hope you have a blessed, wonderful day. And good night, Kat. Thank you for being here. Um, yes, an Aussie's with us. That's awesome. Awesome Aussie. Noelle, thank you for being here. Virgil, thank you for being here. Thank you, Thomas, the best mod and the best in the West. Just kidding. You're the best of all. It's like I have one really. It's like when your mom's like, "You're my favorite child." I'm your only child. I appreciate you guys. Virgil, I think I said thank you. Big Mike, everybody who showed up for at all any amount of time. Thanks to Kathy, Mysteries, everybody. I'm not going to keep scrolling. Appreciate you guys though very much. Please hit the like on the way out and leave comments of what you guys thought, okay? And yeah, I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna go get Littles. She's knocked out and she's snoring. I wish you guys could hear her. She snores like a real true like man, and she's like so little. But appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here. Have a blessed night. Stay safe. Have a wonderful Friday. Look, the dog knows. She popped up. She knows what mommy's saying. Say bye, peoples. Look it. You want to say bye? You know what time it is, huh? She's like, yeah, mom. Love you. Say bye, people. We appreciate you. Hit the like, subscribe, notification bell. Appreciate you guys so very much. I appreciate you guys. And I'm so thrilled that it went so well tonight. And hopefully we'll get him on to chat soon. And anyone else who wants to come on, Noelle came on my panel once, and I'm happy to chat at any given time. So you guys, my email is on my page if you want to email me. I gotta get caught up and on my comments as well. So you guys are amazing. I appreciate all of you. And I will talk to you guys soon, okay? I'm gonna go put my kid to sleep. Bye, you guys. Stay safe. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, bye. Bye. You're knocked out.